With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Hello, this is How I Bring Light. I'm Mary. I give a conservative perspective about the world around me. All right, so feedback is important. Feel free to reach out to me either through, the sources whichever sources you want to pick to reach out to me. Feel free. But the best way to reach me is through email. All right, so some of the audio platforms that I'm on Spreaker, I'm on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Deezer, just to name a few. All right, so listen up if you've heard this shanty before, and I know you have. What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor? Early in the morning. All right, so that's what this show is all about. What is this song? Why is this song popular? What is behind it? What is the origin of it? Let's listen up and dive into it. Okay, before I get into the facts, hear my thoughts. Can't stress enough of the aspects of music and culture. All right, and especially when we get into aspects of shanties and ditties, stuff like that, they really clue into the aspects of the customs, what is really, behind the culture. What it's representing. All right, so music has a very unique way, and I said this before, but music really does have a very unique way, when it's done well, to really signify and call attention and to bring awareness to something that mere conversations cannot. So, what does this all mean? By just, saying this term. A lot of times what happens, most of the time what happens, everything is different, of course. Most of the time what happens with conversations, or if that is in interpersonal communication, business communication, so forth, communications through media outlets, so forth, runs into misinterpretations. Of course, that doesn't, that's not out of the realm of what happens a lot with music. But the difference is a lot of times with music, especially when it's amplified, and when you slow down to take a listen to it if you want to, and then when it explains and when the artists come forth, or sometimes that's when within the mystery of music, which is interesting too, the artist can make it more complicated, and that's probably their reason behind doing it. But for the most part, particularly when we're talking about the aspects of human emotion, or the aspects of culture and the aspects of subculture, a lot of times music can, triumph the aspects of mere conversations and how things are evoked, things are expressed, to where it helps to translate something in a better way. And whether that's positive or negative, that happens. And a lot of times with the aspects of speaking to each other, you either get the aspects of if someone is from speaks another language, things don't translate well, or if somebody only is interpreting the lens from their point of view, it's not understood well, it's a misinterpretation, and so forth. And I don't know, it's just quite interesting. Of course, that goes along with lines of music. You can also, have that argument with the aspects of music too. But I don't know, it's just music can really say a whole lot impactfully because of how it's delivered, how it's the song, and how the accompanying with instruments impact the overall tone and message of the song. And you're feeling something, you're hearing something, and it's also a really good clue into the aspects of that culture. And sea folklore, the life of the sea, people who live sea life, whether it be recreational, whether it be residential, whether it be for business, it cultivates a very unique aspects of culture. And specifically, when we get into the aspects of raunchiness and things like that, what is really, the reality of situation of the raunchiness. And so this song has been in pop culture for numerous amount of years, and in so much into the aspects that it's gone into children's culture, particularly when I'm talking about SpongeBob SquarePants. That song is heard in a lot of the episodes. You hear do 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 do. Now there's a lot of fan theories with the aspects of without it is this goes in the realm of the aspects of meaning behind meaning. That there's a dark underlying undertone or a dark origin story to the aspects of SpongeBob in itself, when that's something to also bring light into the aspects of culture and boundaries within culture, and then particularly when you get in the aspects of children's entertainment and culture. And it's quite interesting, when you have a song like this, why is that placed into a show that's supposed to be for children? So, this clues into the impact that this song has, and to helping adults alert adults to something that's familiar, and to reconnecting the impact that this song has and has had on culture in itself. And so, excuse me. And so this goes along the lines with the aspects of, particularly when we get to defense, like naval. When we get to the Navy and the sailors, particularly with sailors, and so forth. Why is it that the imagery, most of the time, is that it's a drunken wayabout that is being, that's with that territory that comes being uncamped and so forth, being, uncultured swine, so to speak, in certain companies? Why is it that is the particular imagery and the aspects of the life of people who are primarily involved with the business end or the defense end of the sea? Now, there's particularly quite difference with naval defense and the National Guard. They are of higher standards, the utmost high standards when it comes to the aspects of the defense of the sea. But sailors get a bad rap, and that goes along with the lines with the aspects of this of this shanty here, of this song. What is it cluing into the factor and the culture of life on the sea when we come from this point of view? And it also goes into a lot of heritage and a lot of aspects of songs that, clue in to aspects of different cultures. When we get into aspects of songs in the Far East, we get into aspects of songs, Americana. These songs, what are the overall unified aspects of this, of me mentioning these things? They in itself present a very solid tradition in those cultures of, in a sense of national pride, And so how does that interlace itself with the aspects of sea life and the aspects of songs like this, the aspects of sailors and their imprint on, national pride in the aspects of sea and the impact and the evolution of how people view, their place and their self with sea.
Ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit activeday.com to apply.
And culture and how all the things that we get from, as normal everyday people being a part of that, anywhere from fishermen to sailors in this point. How does that all overwhelm? Is it seeing them in a different point of view? Does that pinpoint to social status, social class? Bringing the aspects of social awareness with that. What does that all mean? And I'm gonna end on this. I think a good example to relate this to is the aspects of traditional, Christmas songs and how they evolve over time. So, a really good example of this. Now give us some figgy pudding. Now give us some figgy pudding. Now this was this imagery is connected to, if I'm not mistaken, to the aspects of traditional English celebrations when it comes to Christmas. And those, translate to something to mean something entirely different when you get into other generations and other impacts of what this song means to other people, whether it be American ideas about it, whether it be foreign ideas about it. It's not the same as it was originally intended. And that's something to take a look at when we get into aspects of songs like this. All right, with all that said, here we go into facts about this song. Okay, and of course, sources will be provided for you in this episode. All right, so I'm going to pull it up right quick for you. The song, What Do You Do with a Drunken Sailor, is a traditional sea shanty that has been sung abroad, sailing ships as early as back as the 1830s. The song's lyrics vary, but usually contain some variant of the question, what shall we do with a drunken sailor early in the morning? In some styles of performance, each successive verse suggests a method of sobering or punishing the drunken sailor. So the song is also known as Drunken Sailor, and it has been performed and recorded by many musicians. It has been adopted as a repertoire for glee singers at Ellerton College and has been sung regularly at gatherings at the Savage Club of London. The song became popular on land in America as well, with the catalog of folk songs. And, again, the aspects of folk songs are really good about that, and that's the whole reason behind folk songs, is to clue into the traditional culture of a country. All right, so from the Midwest, including it in 1915, where it was said to be sung while dancing as short of reel. So the song's lyrics include suggestions as shave his belly with a rusty razor, but put him in a long boat till he's sober, and put him in the hold with the captain's daughter. The song's chorus is referenced in some whaling ship recordings out of New London, Connecticut in 1839. The song's original origin is uncertain, but it is one of the oldest Anglo-Saxon sea shanties, having been sung in the Indian men of the Honorable John Company. It's also one of the few songs the British Royal Navy allowed its crew members to sing on board. So the song's tune is believed to have origins from an Irish tune called O Sirs de Bethia, which means you are welcome home. And so, this also goes along the lineage, too, with Irish and Irish folklore, particularly when we talk about sea and water. The Irish culture has a rich history in that. And then it also links and is a lineage to, further impact and aspects of what could be clued in to this song's original intention and meaning, about cluing in and relaying to different aspects of Irish folk traditions too. All right, so I'm going to get into some more facts here about the song. So, song facts. Hey, y'all, shh, okay? Okay. But shh, okay? I'll be right there, okay? All right. One of the oldest known Anglo-Saxon sea shanty has been sung in the Indian men of Honorable John Company. Hey, let the Manny, let him go where he needs to go, okay? All right, y'all be quiet. I'm recording right now, okay? Thank you, babies. Okay, y'all be quiet, okay? My babies. Okay. All right. One of the oldest known Anglo-Saxon sea shanties have been sung in the Indian Men of Honorable John Company, Drunken Sailor, was the only song in the Royal Navy allowed its crew members to sing. And so let's cruise into the aspects of another reason that this is so popular, because the Royal British Navy is of prestige, and so maybe this is another reason why it's so well known. All right, so as a work song, mainly sung on bigger ships with large crews, it was often a shanty by sailors, with all hands roaring out of the song and in unison. Was the hosted as they hosted the sail, rise to anchor, hence the chorus, way hey up the rise. The air was taken from the traditional Irish dance and the march tune, as I was saying, which translates "You are welcome home." The music was first reproduced and printed in 1824 in cold sections of their favorite Colletons published in Baltimore. Its lyrics are much older and comprise several verses of various unpleasant things that should be done to sober up a inebriated sailor, including stick him in the scrubber and a hops pea pipe on him, and shave his belly with a rusty raver. Successful generations of performers have recorded arrangements of the song, including King Singers, James Last, the Swingle Singers, and Peter Seeger. So in 2005, Toyota used it in a U.S. television commercial. One common response to the question, "What shall we do with the drunken sailor?" is put him in bed with the captain's daughter. Before the, hashtag, it's quite interesting they're talking about the Me Too movement. All right, so this is something that has to be another aspect for me, looking at the pot, calling it pot for what it is, okay? So the Me Too movement is unfortunate because when it finally revealed its ugly head, it was stripping away with the aspects of true crimes against women, and seriously bringing attention to that and awareness to that, instead of saying, "Oh, I'm doing something that I'll regret." So later on, I'm going to say this man did this to me, as another means of, again, I can't stress this enough. I've said this a lot in my podcast. You got to really pay attention to look and listen to what is behind what mainstream media is talking about and what it's doing. And so the fact that they're talking about Me Too, hashtag Me Too, and the essence of the song is quite alarming. I mean, and it's also at the same time, take it with a grain of salt. It's probably an ill-fated joke, which is the aspects of what makes American culture so great, especially the Constitution, that people can say any dumb thing that they want to say, and they have the right to do that, and there's protections for that. But with that said, I don't know, it's something to think about and consider when the aspects of women and culture and the aspects of damsels in distress versus the reality of the situation. Is that really true? All right, so let's wrap all this up. It says, let's clarify the captain's daughter isn't a young woman, but rather refers to a harsh punishment. It's another name for a multi-tailed whip used for flogging. So this gives the aspects of another clue of, you got to go deeper and look for things and get to clues of things. What do they actually mean? What do they actually saying? And so that's why I'm going to end on this. And that's why I can't stress enough, too, what is actually being said. This relates to what I was saying earlier about the Me Too movement. See, again, this relates to what is actually being said, listened to, and saw with Me Too movement. Let's get further and deeper behind this. And then I think that's what that's what they're doing here. They're trying to say that too, but at the same time, are they also making references to, the hashtag Me Too movement wasn't all what it seems. That's something to say too. That's something to bring attention to and awareness to it as well. All right, so this was just the end of the Harvard Light. I really like to know what you all think. Feel free to reach out to me. All right, so tune in and turn up, and guess what? Take care. All right, bye-bye for now, and listen to the sea.